Do you find yourself putting other people's needs ahead of yours? If immediately you thought yes, this episode's for you. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Allyssa Noelle. It's been a while since I've recorded an episode and so happy to be back here. Summer flew by. I was very busy this summer. Before I jump into what I want to discuss this episode, I'll give you a quick update of what's been going on. So I had my bachelorette party, my bridal shower, my wedding. I celebrated my 4-year sober anniversary in September. So it's been a fun-filled, packed summer. I'm a married woman now. It was such a beautiful day. Oh my goodness. I just want to go back, but so grateful for the memories that I had. And I want to dive into what it was like celebrating my wedding sober, bachelorette party sober, all the wedding festivities sober at some point, because I never thought that I would be a sober bride. Never. It was not on my bingo card. But I couldn't have imagined celebrating it any other way. I didn't even think about alcohol. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. But this summer too, the summer I turned pretty, that got me through my Wednesdays, let me tell you. I became obsessed with this show, like a lot of millennials. Definitely brought up old, like, Hollywood crushes that I had back when I was younger, and such a cute show. Cheesy, but so cute. I'm so excited for the movie to come out, and it was nice being able to kind of escape a little bit in that TV show. So, today I really wanted to jump into something that happened to me recently because it has made me reflect a lot on a few things that I felt like I had moved forward from or grown from. And I feel like anytime something ends up becoming, I don't know if it anytime something that happens to you makes you feel a type of way, like what I'm about to kind of set the stage for, definitely triggered a core belief that I have and something that I've been working through in therapy. So it was very interesting how something so simple made me reflect on so much about my internal dialogue, on my relationship with jobs and my relationship with bosses, authority figures, and then trickling back even further, um, even my home life. It was very interesting how this one incident just opened the floodgates for me to reflect on so much. And it was during all that time when everything was going on in the sky, and I believe that we are all connected to the moon and those changes and the universe and all of that and the tides. All of it's connected. We're all connected. So like I said, I just got married, and Joe and I are going on our honeymoon mid-October. I'm not sure when this is going to get rolled out, so I'm just being kind of broad there. Uh, so And I had first of all, I believe that I've mentioned this, but if I haven't, so I am an independent contractor. I freelance for a few companies, and one has been kind of my main gig that I've had for the past couple years. It's fully remote. It's been super flexible. I've been able to be in Utah for a month skiing, go here, go there, be in Florida, visiting family and friends and all of that. It's been very nice being able to make my own hours as well, and having consistent work. I am so grateful that I found this place. And I didn't realize until after this had happened that I haven't really taken a chunk of time off from this place, because, like, even for my wedding, I took 2 days off. Like, I think I took, like, we got married on a Thursday, so I took, like, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. Because, as an independent contractor, if you don't work, you don't get paid. And just how everything's worked out, I've just been able to kind of work around it, or just take a day off here and there and front load my work or what have you. So I had told the company that I freelance for back in August that I was going to be taking a few weeks off of work. I didn't have exact dates yet. Um, and we finally locked in dates 5 weeks out. And I let them know I was hoping to talk to them over a call that I have weekly with them, but they were traveling. So I sent an email just saying, these are the dates that I have back. I've been working on making sure that I get everything taken care of ahead of time to lessen the burden on whoever's going to be kind of covering for me while I'm out, which I feel like as an independent contractor is doing the most to begin with because I'm not really tied to this job that way. But I have been feeling a lot of times that this has really blurred the lines of me being I felt this for a while, like, I feel like I am an employee there without the benefits, and I've kinda just pushed it to the side, making excuses like, "Well, it's very flexible and it's consistent," and, you kinda feel safe in a position, because I've been unemployed multiple times, and the unknown is so scary, and, applying for jobs is brutal, so you kinda convince yourself that this place is okay. And I did the same thing when I was working in my other industry where I spent I almost said bulk majority, where I spent, oh my goodness, words are hard today, where I spent the majority of my career in broadcast news. I made excuses because I thought that that was my dream job. But as you grow, things change, and I feel like we're all kind of going through cycles of change all the time, and you just have to be open to taking that next step. And I felt like with me having 4 years of sobriety under my belt, it was like I've closed this chapter of, 4 years is like a college degree or graduating high school. It's a substantial amount of time. And I kind of feel like I'm entering this other level of, I don't know, consciousness, but also knowing exactly what I want, even though I don't know exactly how all of it's going to work. And I do believe that things fizzle if they're meant to. So I giving way too much backstory, but I'm just trying to set the stage. um, so I got an email back right away when I told them that I was going to be out for 3.5 weeks, 2 weeks fully not working, and then I'd be checking my emails for the week and a half. Um, just so I could kind of see what was going on and make sure that I had work when I got back. But a lot of my job too is taking calls and stuff. But like I said, I manage my own hours and stuff. So I knew based on my workload now and what was happening that during that time I was off, it probably wasn't going to be that big of a deal. And I got an email back, wow, 4 weeks. I didn't think you'd be off that long. So I had to sit with that email all weekend. All week. I think that email came in like close to the top at the beginning of the week. And I mean, I didn't really know what to say back. Like I wasn't expecting that response. Like I'm not an employee there. I'm an independent contractor and other people that work, not to compare, but other people that have been there that are also freelancers have taken multiple weeks off or worked from other countries with varying time zones, and it hasn't been an issue. So I was very caught off guard. Um, and fast forward to that next Monday when we were supposed to hop on our weekly call just to touch base. I was hoping that it'd be collaborative because I had already set the stage for all the prep work that I was doing and just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page of us, of them being set up for when I'm out. I hop on the call and immediately get interrogated. So tell me about your honeymoon. What's the time zone in Bali right now? You didn't give us enough time and notice off. The whole team is going to be out. the whole team is going to be off kilter with your absence. Basically making me feel guilty and making me feel like me being out is going to disrupt the whole process that we have going on. They also dropped this random project I didn't even know about that they said that they were going to assign me to, and also made me feel guilty because they were just coming back from conferences where I guess a bunch of new clients, I don't really want to get into what the whole situation is, that they were going to maybe have new clients come in, which they would have needed my help with. And I'm like, how is this my problem? But like, I had never heard this stern voice before. I had never heard this tone or demeanor by this person since I started there. And I've almost been there for almost 2 years. 2 years in October, I started. And I think it was around Halloween time. And I was shocked. And immediately after I got off the call, I started crying because it hit something deep in me. Because I was already feeling guilty for taking time off. I've just always been that way. Like, I'm letting people down or like, I'm, putting so much pressure or putting so much, how do I want to phrase this? I just don't like letting people down. And I feel like by my absence, I'd be letting people down. And so I was already feeling that way. And then for her to poke the bear even more to basically validate all these internal thoughts that I was having, my nervous system just went so out of whack and I just immediately started crying. What's interesting is that I had just finished reading The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and that was helpful. But when you're in it, it's one thing reading something, then it's one thing actually implementing what a book recommends. But I was noticing these thought patterns. I was noticing these thoughts that weren't just thoughts that I've had based off of this situation, but narratives that have been running in the background of my mind, I believe, since I was little. Like, I have to hold everything together. I carry so much responsibility. I'm letting everyone down. I'm the one that kind of makes everything go to plan type deal. And I'm not going to lie, like, it was really difficult showing up to, like, turning in my deliverables for that week. Like, I was just, I immediately started thinking, like, this is all my fault. What can I do to fix this? Should I even leave? Is being gone for 3.5 weeks too much? All the things. But I was able to take a step back. Yoga helped a lot and really realize that this narrative and these thoughts that have been running through my mind, I don't need to carry. Like, that's not on me. We can start with just like the role that I'm in. I'm an independent contractor. I show up, I do my work, I deliver it. If they don't have enough staff to cover, that's not my problem. And being able to see it objectively from my situation instead of just worrying about how the other person's feeling. And I think that that's very hard for me to do because the second that I see someone is upset at me, I want to fix. And, I mean, the tickets are booked. Like, I'm not going on my honeymoon. So that wasn't even an option. But just thinking for like smaller things too. It can come up in so many other situations. And even thinking back to when I worked in broadcast news, I still am like trying not to be as much of a people pleaser, pushing, doing, going above and beyond, putting in 110%, all the things. And all of these characteristics that I've always thought for many years made up who I am and made me the person that I am today, I am realizing. And I believe I did an episode about this a long time ago. I think it was during fall, though, which is very interesting. Maybe because fall is a season of letting go of the thought patterns that no longer serve you and stuff that you just need to release. But I like want to take off all these masks to get to the core person of who I am. And like I was mentioning with the book, there's you, and then there's the mind, and then there's the soul. There's the person behind you that's observing all of this that's going on. And it was very interesting because I do EMDR regularly after we do the lights, after one of the like tracking the lights. She always asks, my therapist always asks, like, what are you feeling in your body? And I feel like with doing yoga too, you're dropping into your body and getting out of your monkey mind. And I feel like with this happening, I could feel my nervous system not feeling safe. I was shaky, my heart, like I just felt unsettled. And even yoga wasn't helping calm me. And it's just so interesting how something that I feel like some people would just be like, well, whatever. I mean, they're just going to have to get over it. Turned out to be such a reflective moment on certain things that I need to still move through and not feel guilty for, and know that I deserve rest. I deserve to live my life because I'm not going to be on my deathbed being like, man, I really wish that I was working instead of that amazing trip that my husband and I took to Bali. So I'm really needing it too, because thinking about how they reacted and how it made me feel, I realized that, yeah, I really haven't taken a substantial amount of time off and I really need it. And I'm not going to feel bad about it because I know what I need, and a job's just a job at the end of the day. And over the weekend too, I was like, I can't control how they reacted to me, but what I can control is, it made me obviously feel unsafe in the role. And I wasn't even thinking that. And someone else, I think it was Joe, made me recognize that them reacting that way means that you are a very big asset at the company. And because it hit something in me that I was letting people down, I couldn't even see that. I just thought like the worst. Like they don't, they're mad at me and all this stuff that's just mumbo jumbo, that your head is just just runs on autopilot, but I'm trying to stop it. That my absence, if it is that big of a deficit, means that, they really value my work. It's just a weird way of them showing it. So over the weekend, I was like, okay, well, what can I do? I guess I can apply to more jobs. And so I applied to a few jobs, and then I'm like, what am I doing? But whatever, it made me feel better that, you're not stuck in a place. And I feel like that was kind of the push that I needed to know that maybe I've outgrown this space and maybe I need to look elsewhere. Where I'm at right now with what I'm building with Title Recovery and this podcast, clearly, if you follow both of those pages, it's still in the early phases. And I've been thinking a lot about that and how, I've started and stopped, gotten moments of inspiration and stopped. And I'm like, well, what if I just showcase like all the ups and downs and all the things that I've been going through, up until this point, or just showing like what I've been thinking through all that, because I have not, I don't know, not that I don't want to say that like, because that's another thing that I feel bad about is me not, being consistent with this. But it's really difficult. It's really difficult. And this is something that I could probably go on and deeper into when I have more time to think about it. But they say quit your 9 to 5 and do what you want to do, whatever, and build your own thing. But then you don't really see the messy middle. You don't really see how much work it took. And maybe people have, and I just haven't seen it. And I've just found people as, small business owners and people starting their own thing. Um, just from having a following and what looks like, a consistent messaging and all of that stuff. But the whole reason why I started this too was to talk about the change that goes with building something on your own and leaving behind a career that you thought was your passion. And I've noticed that since I still work in the same space, which is kind of tied to all of this, it's like a lot. It's like all my creative energy goes to the jobs that I have, and it's hard for me to carve out time for myself. I also want to say that this summer was just busy because of a very special chapter in my life. So I don't feel bad about, taking a pause and really being able to dive into, being engaged and a newlywed and that sort of thing. But it does take discipline and it does take consistency. And that is something that I want to try to work on as we wrap up this year and head into the new year, is just really being mindful of time and how I spend my time, maybe even time blocking. But I might start sharing a little bit of that here and there as well, because I think if anyone is, feeling like they have this passion or something pulling them to start something, but they don't really know where to begin, like, yeah, that's me. I mean, I feel the podcast has been the most consistent because it's comes pretty like natural to me, and the editing part isn't hard, and all the stuff that I've learned in the past has really set me up for something like this. And I have a bunch of ideas and Instagram posts and all that stuff. But then that's brings up another thing where I've been so like on and off about my relationship and how I feel about social media. I, like, haven't even gotten any motivation to even post some of my beautiful wedding photos, and I'm like, "Why? Why is this?" And, like, in-person connection is so important to me, and I've been able to connect more recently with some of the women that I met through my yoga studio, which has been so nice, more than a hi, bye type deal, and actually getting to know them. And working remotely, I feel like you feel like you're kind of working in your own little silo, and you're not really getting that in-person connection that you once had. And so maybe that's my reasoning behind it. Also, it's just like a distraction. Like, I mean, I want to get on social media just to produce content and not consume it, because you get on there and then all of a sudden it's like 30 minutes go by and you're like, what did I watch? Like these silly trending videos that like everyone's doing the same thing. I say this and then I'm going to be using Instagram to promote my own stuff. So take that for what it is. But I don't know, it just makes me think about that, and, having to go through times where I don't really want to be on that platform as much. And something like this is so nice because I can just like air all my thoughts out. I've said before, it's like I feel like it's just like a journal entry that I'm just sharing with whoever listens. And it's so true. And I am happy that I have put time aside today to record. And I really hope that in the future I can be more consistent with it. I mean, obviously, as I was saying in this whole episode, is that I'm going to be in Bali for 3.5 weeks, and I cannot wait. It might even give me that creative inspiration that I didn't even know that I needed. So I'm really looking forward to the time away. I'm really worried about the flight. I've never flown that long. I'm a little worried, but we will make it through. But yeah, so I don't know if you've had something. I just think that this really made me reflect the story I shared about the reaction that I got to me taking time off, hit something in me that I realized that I needed to release and let go of, and know that I'm not letting people down by listening to what I need and doing what's best for me. And that can be applied to any situation, whether it be with family members, whether it be at work, whether it be with friends, whether it be with, other commitments that you have. Um, it's just a nice to remember and remind yourself that we only got like one life to live. So you might as well do what you want to do and live your life the way that you want to. and I'm really still trying to seek what that looks like for me, and Joe's building me out a studio, so I'm so excited to, like, have a space where I can actually have people on in person, so that's gonna be fun. It's probably gonna be, like, a down the road thing because all the equipment and everything that's needed, but I can't wait to have my own area, and it's just gonna be so much easier for me to not make excuses, to just hit record and just talk about what's on my mind, and I don't know. I feel back when I was first lost and not really sure what was next after I left news, knowing that other people were in my same position would be helpful, and that's what I'm trying to navigate here is, like I had mentioned, you feel in your heart and your soul that you're meant to do something more. And what is that supposed to be? You just got to keep showing up and doing it and living life too. Living life as well. I feel like sometimes I'm so wrapped up in wanting to heal and grow that I also need to be reminded of being in the present and the now because things are just going to keep going forward and passing you by and not passing you by, but things just keep moving forward and being present to it all. It's a lot. This human experience we all signed up for is a lot. But I'm here for it. And I'm just so grateful to all of you for listening to today's episode. And we'll be back again soon. I'm not going to make any promises. Like I said, we're going to be in Bali, just enjoying life for a while. But yeah, if you felt similarly, though, if something that I mentioned kind of sparked something that you felt, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to take this conversation a little deeper with you. You can follow me at Allyssa Noelle Show. And remember, wherever you go, there you are.